Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. On today's video I'll be showing us how to draft a princess bustier with an asymmetric neckline. If this is what you want to watch, kindly sit back as we roll. Okay, here we go. I'll be going ahead to draft the front bodice. To determine my working piece, I have to divide the biggest part of my body by 4, which is my bust, which is 40 divided by 4 will give me 10, and I added like 6 inches extra to accommodate all the allowances we will have to give on this work. Then from the borderline, which is my shoulder line, so my bust line from the shoulder is 12 inches, under bust from the shoulder is 15.5. Then the waist, from the shoulder to the waist, is 20 inches. Adding 1 extra inch to make it 21 inch for the joining allowance, which I have already marked. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my neck width and neck depth, which is 3 by 3. So I've gone ahead to connect that with my ruler. Then after that, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder here is 15.5. I'm going to make it 16. Divided by 2 will give me 8. So I'll just go ahead and mark my 8. Then come down by 1 inch on the shoulder line to form my slope. And then I'll use my ruler to connect it to the neckline. Then after I'm done with that, I'm going to take my armhole depth, which is 9 from my shoulder line, or if I want to start from the slope, it's going to be 8. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 9 because I'm starting from the shoulder line, and that line is going to form our chest line. I'm going to go ahead and connect this to the shoulder line, connecting my armhole to the shoulder line. And I'm also going to rule the chest line. As I told you, the armhole depth automatically forms the chest line. That is what I am doing right now. After I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my bust circumference, which is 10. That's 40 divided by 4 is 10. I'm going to mark it on the bust line and then on the chest line to form my armhole curve. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and find the midpoint of my armhole. From the slant is going to give me 8. That's dividing it by 2 will give me 4. I'll just go ahead and mark it. Once I'm done marking that, I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch on the midpoint I have identified. Then I will use my armhole curve and then connect it from the chest line to the shoulder line, as you can see me doing right now. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and take my point-to-point measurement. How did I arrive at my point-to-point measurement? The circumference of my bust divided by 4 will give me 10, minus 1 will give me 9. Then divided by 2 will give me 4.5. That is what I'm marking. I'm going to mark it on my bust point, on my bust line, on my under bust line, and then on the waist line, then on the chest line, and then connect it with the ruler the way you have seen me do. Then I will go ahead on that line I have identified. I will take 1 inch by both sides, 1 inch by the left and 1 inch by the right on the waist point, and then 1 inch by the left and right on the under bust. Then I will connect it with my ruler. After I am done doing that, I'm going to come down on the bust point on the bust line by 1 inch. Then I'll go up on the bust line by 1 inch as well, because I don't want the connection to come directly on the bust. That's why I am doing that. I'm trying to avoid it coming directly on the bust. So what I'm going to do next after that, I'm going to use my curve ruler and then connect it the way you're seeing me doing now. And I'm going to give it a curve, a sharp curve by both sides. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to go up on my armhole line From the midpoints I have already identified initially, I'm going to use my French pattern, French curve, to connect it the way you're seeing me do. You can use your free hand if you so wish, but pattern makes it easier. And sometimes I like doing it with my free hand as well. So you can just see the way I'm connecting it to the bust line. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go up on that center point I identified on my armhole by half an inch on both sides. Go up half an inch, come down half an inch, and then I'll just connect it with my curve ruler or my free hands to just blend it. I'll just blend it to the line to join the line, the middle line I have already identified. So as you can see that our shoulder, our armhole has been altered by 1 inch. It has been altered. It will reduce by 1 inch. So what will I do next? On the armhole, at that point, at the midpoint, I am going to go out by 1 inch to be able to replace the 1 inch that we have altered the armhole with. On the bust line, I'm going to go ahead and use my curved ruler to make sure that I blend the curve so that it will be well blended, so that that particular place will not be pointy when I am done with the sewing and every other thing. Then after blending this, I'm going to go ahead and come out on the armhole area by 1 inch. This is because we have altered the armhole. The armhole has reduced by 1 inch because of the half inch I took out of it. So I'm going to be replacing it. On that center area I identified, I'm going to come out by 1 inch in a slanted form, not on a straight line. Then I'll use my ruler to connect it up as you see me do. Then on the armhole itself, on the curved armhole by the chest line, I'm going to come out again by 1 inch. Then I will use my curved ruler to connect it the way you're seeing me do. That way we have replaced the 1 inch that we took out of the armhole so that nothing will be short. Then I will go ahead right now. After I am done with the armhole, I'm going to go ahead and take the circumference of my bust line and the waistline, and then I will replace all the replaceable. Everything that we have taken out, I will replace them. Okay, on the bust line, I'm going to take my bust circumference, which is 10. I have already marked it. I'll just go ahead and add 2 inches for the allowance, for the sewing allowance, the data allowance, and every other thing. Then when I've marked that on the bust line, I'm going to go ahead and mark it as well on the chest line. Then I'll go down to my waistline and take my waist circumference. The waist circumference is 35. 35 divided by 4 will give me 8.75. I'll go ahead and mark 8.75. So also add 2 inches, which will make it 10.75. Then I'll go ahead and use my ruler and connect it the way you're going to see me do right now. I'm going to use my ruler and connect the chest line to the waistline the way you're seeing me doing right now. Just watch me as I do so. Oh, anyway, sorry, I forgot to add the 2 inches we took for the dart intake, because that place will be going off. We'll be cutting off that 2 inches at the dart area. So I'm going to replace it. I'm going to add extra 2 inch by that side, and then I will connect it. I'll add it on the waistline and on the bust line. Then I'll go ahead and connect it with my ruler, as you can see me do right now. So once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and cut it. Just watch me as I cut out my piece. Once I'm done connecting the lines, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So you'll be careful in cutting this out because it's very tactical. So just watch me as I do the cutting. Please guys, please don't cut it out the way you're seeing me doing now. I'm not supposed to cut it out right now like this. I'm just supposed to cut out the sides and then the neckline then I'll open it and then cut the asymmetric area. But because I have cut it already, I'm going to go ahead and still cut the asymmetric hand. But on your own, you shouldn't cut it like this. Just cut out the neckline and the sides, then you open it up. So I'm going to go ahead, depending on how deep you want your asymmetric arm to be, I'm just going to go ahead and come down from the arm, from the shoulder line. I'm going to come down by 5 inch. Then I'll connect it directly from the neck to the armhole. I'll connect it directly from the neck to the armhole with my ruler on a slant basis. Just watch me as I do it, and then I'll cut it out. That's why I'm saying you shouldn't cut your own the way I have already cut out my pieces. It's a mistake which I'm not supposed to do. But when you're doing yours, do not cut it out in pieces like this. Just cut it out, just cut the neck area and the armhole area and the side, then you open it up and then cut it. Just watch me as I cut out the asymmetric neckline. I'm supposed to cut it in pieces when I have finished cutting out the asymmetric neckline, but because I've already done it, So you guys, once you have finished tracing your asymmetric neckline and have cut it out, then you can go ahead and cut it in pieces the way I have already done. That's the only mistake here. Okay, I'll just go ahead and cut it out, and once I'm done cutting it out, the asymmetric blouse, the front part of our top is ready. So you can see it, how it is already looking nice. So we're going to go ahead and draft the back block. So what will I do? I'll just bring out my normal, the way I had already determined the working piece for the front area. That's the way I determined this as well. The width of what I'm working with on a fold of 2 is 16 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark my 1 inch allowance for the zipper, for the zip, because the back is going to have a zip. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. Shoulder to shoulder, as we already know, is 15.5, and I'm going to round it up to 16. 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it on the shoulder area. Then I'll come down by 1 inch to form my shoulder slope. Then after I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark my neck width and neck depth. Neck width and neck depth for this is going to be 3 by 3. It's going to be the same thing as the back, as the front area. Then after I'm done with that, I'm going to use my curved ruler and then connect it and make a curve. Once I'm done making a curve, I'm going to connect the shoulder to the armhole on a slant that I have already done. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and take my armhole measurement. My armhole measurement from the shoulder area is 9 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark that. This automatically forms my chest line. I'm going to connect it to the shoulder line. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and identify my bust line. Bust line from the shoulder line is 12 inches, and then my waistline, that's the basic measurement I'll be taking at the back. My waistline is 20 inches from the shoulder line. Adding 1 inch, I'm going to have 21 inch. That 1 inch is for the joining allowance, half inch for the shoulder, and then half inch to join the skirt to the dress, to the upper bodice too. So I'll just form a line. Once I have identified this line, the bust and the waistline, I'll just use my ruler and rule. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and curve my armhole with my armhole curve. So this time around, I'm not going in by 0.5 inch. No, what I'll just do is to identify the circumference of my bust. Once I mark it on my bust line, I'll mark it on my waistline, on my chest line. Then I'll just use the armhole curve and then curve the armhole, and that will be all for the armhole. Then I'll go ahead with other measurements. On the armhole, I'm going to identify the midpoint. Once I'm done with that, I'll go ahead and take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4.5. I'm going to mark it on the bust line, on the waistline, and on the chest line, and I will connect it with a ruler. Once I'm done connecting with the ruler, I'm going to use my curved ruler to connect the midpoint I identified on my armhole to the bust line. I'm going to connect it the way you're seeing me doing, on a curved form, not in a straight line curve, on a curved form. So you can see it the way I'm doing it. After that, I will have to alter the armhole a bit by going up by 0.5 inch and then coming down by 0.5 inch on the midpoint, and then I'll just connect it the way you have seen me do. Then I'll go out by 1.5 by 1 inch on the armhole to be able to cover up for the 1 inch that we have already taken from it, which we have altered, so that we can replace the 1 inch that we took out. Then I will connect it. Just watch me as I do so. Then on the chest line, I'm going to come out by 1 inch as well, and then connect it to the 1 inch I have already identified on the armhole, so that I'll be able to make up for the 1 inch that we took out. Then once I'm done with this, I'm going to take the circumference of my bust and my waistline. Circumference of my bust line is line is 40 divided by 4 is 10 inch. Then I'll just go ahead and add extra 2 inch for the joining. And then on the waistline, I'm going to be measuring my waist circumference, which is 8.75 on a division if divided by 4. Then I will go ahead and add my 2 inch and then connect it the way you see me do, the waistline to the chest line. Then I'll go ahead and then cut it out. This time around, I won't be cutting it into pieces the way I did with the front. I'm just going to cut the neck, the side, the armhole, and the down part. Then I'll open it up and then cut out the asymmetric sleeve. So just watch me do. To be on the safe side, you can bring the front bodice and lie it on the table, and then lay it either back to back, the wrong side to the wrong side, or the right side to the right side, so that you wouldn't make any mistake. And then once you lay it like that, just cut it out. Since you have cut out the first part, you just cut out the back part the way you have cut out the first part of the front part. But if you cannot do it like that, you can go ahead and do it the way I am doing it, to be on the safe side. That's why I'm giving you this suggestion. So the asymmetric, I have already identified the asymmetric neckline. So I just went down by 5 inch and then connected it from my neck depth down to my armhole, and that is what you'll see me. I've already done that. Now I'll go ahead and cut out the piece of my princess dart so that it will look perfectly okay. So just watch me as I do that. On the zip allowance, I'm going to go in by 0.5. You find out that most people, when after fixing their zip, the back part will be bulgy. That's what I'm trying to prevent. Once I go in by 0.5, I'll connect it straight to my bust area, as you can see me do right now. Do you see the way I place my ruler? I'll just connect it like that and then cut it off. This will enable it to lap at the back so that it wouldn't be bulgy. It's to eliminate any bulginess at the back. That's why I'm doing this. So I'll just go ahead and cut out my piece, as you can see me do right now. Okay, I'm just cutting it out, and here you go. I'm done cutting it out. That is our back bodice. look at it. The back block is just a set. The asymmetric bustier princess that is set, and you can see it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you liked this video. Kindly practice. If you want to practice, please do it on a pattern paper before you can transfer to a fabric, so that any mistake you have to do, you make it on the pattern paper. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly give me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and put on your notification bell to always get notified whenever I post a new video. For the padding of the front of this blouse, I will drop the link on the description section so that you'll be able to watch and learn how to pad a perfect bustier. You can see it already. I've already gone ahead to join it. So if you want to learn the process, I'll be dropping it soon. Take care. Bye.